Hi, this is Nick Peachy here with Rob Lewis, back at Harrogate Online, the IATEFL conference, and we're talking to Nicky Hockly from the consultancy. Hi Nicky.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
You've been here giving a talk quite within the last hour or so, haven't you?
I have, yes. I've just finished giving a talk on, it was called Teaching the Mobile Generation, so it was looking at mobile learning, basically.
Can you tell us a bit more about that? What can you teach with the mobile? What can you teach with the mobile phone?
Okay, right, I'm going to try and summarize my talk now, which was an hour and about 2 minutes. Basically, I think one of the misinterpretation that people have of mobile learning is that mobile learning means mobile phone, and that is definitely not the case. There are many different mobile devices. So we've got iPhones and iTouches, and we do have mobile phones, but we also have devices such as a netbook, digital cameras and so on and so forth. And the idea in the talk was to look at the whole range of devices and look at how we can get our learners to use mobile technologies outside the classroom on their own as independent learners, but also inside the classroom. So how you could, as a teacher, actually integrate the use of mobile devices into your formal classroom environment.
Does it extend as well to things like PlayStation Portable or a Nintendo? I'm assuming that you can bring in games, portable games, consoles as well into that.
Yes. In fact, now you mention it, I realise that I forgot to mention gaming in the talk. You can see where my interests lie. I think the way I would characterise it is there's a kind of a discrete kind of product or content-oriented use of mobile learning, which would include things like games, things like apps that you can get for your iPhone, grammar in use, drag and drop activities, quizzes, dictionaries. Those are these kind of little discrete chunks of content which you can have on portable devices, and would include gaming there. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you've got all mobile devices these days, or at least the latest generation ones, are Wi-Fi enabled. So that means you can actually plug in to the web and into social networks. So you can access tools such as Twitter, you can access, if you're doing online learning, you could access your online course via your mobile device. And that's a more kind of a social use of, kind of a more holistic use of mobile learning. And I sort of see it as a climb with the sort of app, content, discrete use, which includes gaming on one end, all the way across to a kind of fully integrated with the web, social network, social media, multimedia experience. I don't know if that makes sense, actually.
It does.
Yeah.
Is mobile learning something that's kind of restricted to sort of companies producing sort of mobile learning content, or is there something that your average teacher who's watching this can sort of do with their students who are bringing their mobile phones into class instead of telling them to sort of switch them off?
Yes, I mean, that's one thing, this thing about switching off mobile phones. It's not so much the phone application in the mobile device that's important, it's the other application. So instead of having an iPhone, you could be using an iTouch, for example, though you don't have the phone and the expense associated with that. In the talk, at the end of the talk, we looked at different ways that you could start to integrate mobile learning as a teacher, because this is the thing, of course, as Andy was saying just previously, there's not much teacher training around, and especially with new technologies like mobile technologies, your average teacher thinks, where do I start, what do I do? I would suggest that the easiest way for a teacher to start is with the idea of the independent learner and the discrete content approach. So, these are some of the apps available for language learning. These are some of the games available. Go off and do it if you want to out of class. But now, if we're going to look at bringing these devices into the classroom, then it's not so much doing that, which you could do at home. You could do your gaming at home. It's bringing in the whole access to the web part. So let's imagine we're doing in class a project on, I don't know, we're going to produce a tourist guide to Harrogate. Okay, so as a class, I could put you into groups. You could have your iTouches or your Wi-Fi enabled devices, and you could go off and investigate. In class time, you have an internet connection, you find out stuff. You could even go around Harrogate, find people, interview them, record them on your mobile device, even film them on your mobile device, bring it back into the classroom. So, in fact, our teaching doesn't change in a way. We still do what we've always done, which is teach and project-based work and so on. We just have more sophisticated and more fun and more motivating tools to integrate into our, instead of the poster presentation at the end, we've made a multimedia video presentation at the end.
That's something Nick and I were talking about yesterday, the fact that most people have got a camera on their phone now, and you can just, not even with a camera on your phone, you can use a flip camera, whatever it may be, and just integrate it into a lesson very, very easily.
Yes, exactly, yes. I think teachers are often, they feel worried that they don't have the skills, that they've never learnt, they've come late to all this technological stuff. But, you know, I think that first and foremost we need to be teachers. And in my case, I'm not particularly a tech person, I'm a teacher, I'm a teacher trainer. And what I like about technology is that it's not that difficult to use. It gets easier and easier to use, but I can kind of bring it into my practice.